This is not the most important election that is yet to happen.
Oh, wow.
Right? We probably have another 2 or 3 election cycles after this where the stakes will get even higher with each consecutive electoral cycle.
That just brought chills for me hearing you say that. I thought you were going to brush it off, but wow, that just gave me the chills because obviously a lot of Americans are feeling that way as well. Like, man, like what is happening right now? There's like a shift in energy. So real quick, like what does it look like? Do we get an election this year? Your honest thoughts. Like the first thought that might come to your mind: do we get an election this year, or maybe a catastrophic event, maybe war, maybe lockdowns? Like, what do you think is possible? I think a lot of things are possible.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of things are possible. But yes, I do think we see an election this year. Okay. I think the probability is much higher that we see an election this year. And I also think the probability is high that the election we see this year is an election that involves both Trump and Biden. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that 2 years after the winner is announced, they're still president, right? So Biden might win the presidency this year and then in 2 years be replaced by his vice president. Trump might win the presidency this year and then end up being tried in a federal court that pulls him out of the presidency 2 years after he's elected. We don't know, right? But what I do think is important is that whoever is elected this year, at the end of their next 4-year term, that election is going to be even more controversial and even more scary than what we're seeing right now. Because here's what's guaranteed to happen on November 12th.
Okay.
Right? 12. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Is it November 5th? Is that when we go to?
Yeah.
So here's what's guaranteed to happen on November 6th. 50% of the country is guaranteed to be pissed off. Half of the Senate and half of the Congress are going to accuse the other half of doing something illegal. And we're going to go into a 2-year cycle of threats for impeachment and investigations, and it's just going to go crazy, right? And on the backdrop of all this, we're going to continue to have war in Europe, war in the Middle East, expanding conflict, continued economic challenges in the United States. None of that's going away anytime soon. So what that means is American influence continues to degrade. So 4 years after this election, we will be even less influential in the world, and we will have to go to vote again.